For every inside, there is an outside. And although they are different, they go together. There is, in other words, a secret conspiracy.
Testicles 1, 2. Testicles 1, 2. Testicles 1, 2. Testicles 1, 2. We're just going to begin all of our voiceover channeled messages in that manner. I hope you like them. Namaste Ashe. This is Gabrielle, or Omscorpius, your satanic gray witch here today. I wanted to start by saying I really enjoy doing this, and I appreciate those who come here and actually take something from it. And I'm doing it for myself, and I'm doing it for you guys. So, voila. So this message is a channeled message from my favorite daemon, Lucifer, our morning star, our bringer of dawn, our liberator from all that enslaves us. I do have his ends, frequencies playing in the background to help me channel him more. We have our ghost box going off in the background. Right now we have wheat, which is a harvest, I guess. It's abundance. So I want to start by saying these videos are for healing and entertainment purposes only. If the message resonates with you, wonderful. I hope it catches you at the time that you need it. These messages are timeless. There is no time frame. You hear them when you need them. If the messages do not resonate with you, well, it's not your message. If it triggers you, I want to repeat, I am not responsible for your lack of shadow work, okay? So, we are channeling Lucifer today, and some of the things that I have got going on here is dodging bullets. I keep getting like messages from like the movie The Matrix, dodging bullets and agents in the Matrix program. Now, we have two books that we're going to use for our bookmancy. I have one that is called, of course, we're going to use Path of Shadow by Morg. He is a Neogenian, previously known as Hyperion's. Path of Shadow is really good for helping you with shadow work, so we're going to do that. And then I also have a second book, Overcoming the Archons Through Alchemy by John Creeder. And, you know, I listened to this wonderful, I wouldn't say he's a light worker, but his name is Ralph Smart. His messages are fairly uplifting all the time for the most part, and I enjoy him. He's my jam. And he used to mention these non-organic ones all the time, and he would say the word archons, and, you know, it took me a while, but I'm finally kind of wrapping my head around what archons are. Still kind of understanding them, but not. So it's a learning experience, okay? So bear with my paraphrasing, lack of definition, and misuse of words, all right, guys? I'm just trying to express whatever I think and feel as best as I possibly can with my level of knowledge and education. So anyways, I know archons they would be the equivalent to an agent in the Matrix. You know, how the agents can basically jump through any person still programmed into the Matrix at any time, at any point. And what they're looking for or keeping under control is the level of consciousness in the Matrix. And so basically I kept getting that, and how like the Matrix is very much a metaphor for how our world works. If you break it down and watch it from a metaphorical standpoint, it really has a lot of secrets in there. And so those that are locked into these programs are basically programmed people who are living programmed lives, and everyone has the potential to elevate their consciousness. And being programmed means you can be programmed closest to death energy. Majority of the Matrix is kind of programmed into death energy. If you were living in your light, You're harder to control, and you more are in a creative consciousness. So last reading, I definitely fucked it up when I was like, there's 3 types of people: those who see, those who cannot see, and those who see when shown. That was the third one: those who see when they are shown. And this is basically the 3 types of people that we have walking around in our society. Those who cannot see are very much in a low level of consciousness and are kind of like programmed. So Archons, we're going to do the bookmancy and see what we can get. My input on Archons is basically, I know they are the equivalent to agents and the Matrix program, but I can't quite put a finger on what they are. Non-organic is like an energy that does not create new things. It just reproduces the same thing over and over and over and over again. It's basically the equivalent to like dense energy. And then we talked a lot about what is dense energy. Well, it's basically you taking your shadow and transmuting it into light, knowledge, power. But everything comes from darkness. Through the shadow of darkness, may we find our light. From darkness comes light, knowledge. And basically, this is inner work that we have to do in order to become creator gods. Saying I want to raise my consciousness isn't as easy as saying I want to raise my consciousness. There's actually transmuting that you have to do within, and it's nothing to do with out of yourself. Like, it has absolutely nothing to do with that. It plays a part, but because as within, so without; as below, so above. You go from hell to heaven. You go from within, without. Okay, so as you start basically transmuting your shadows, your dense energy within, and turning it into knowledge and power, the outside world will have to shift. And I kept getting this scene of when Neo was basically, I got born on the ghost radars. I'm gonna just like use it, incorporate it, because I didn't do it as much as in the last video. So we got born through darkness, light is born. So I kept getting the scene at the end of the Matrix. Well, basically Neo was learning how to dodge bullets, realizing that the Matrix is not real, and it's basically like a hologram of his mind. And that's like a whole new level of consciousness with shifting your reality around. It's a whole nother playing field, and it's kind of intimidating to realize that through your inner work you can actually shift the Matrix without, when you fully realize that it's nothing but a hologram projected from yourself, from your perception. If there is no identity or I observing the what is it? Observing, it's like, is it matter? They have this experiment where like matter actually like changes depending on the observer. And so it's really hard to tell if like the matter exists without the observer watching it. I hope I'm using these words correctly. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about, but it's really weird. Okay, and I think that's physics for you. Paraphrasing like shit. Okay, bear with me. So, but Neo reaching a higher level, basically dodging bullets. And what are bullets? Dodging bullets, which was the second word. Dodging bullets is basically when I was saying that people who are programmed in the Matrix, and the Matrix is programmed to death energy. They don't want creators. So if you think the 1%, I'm not calling no one out. I don't know nothing. Okay? If you're thinking the 1% and we're the cattle, it would make sense to program us to death energy so that the 1% maintains control over the population. That makes perfect sense. If it's death energy, that means you don't have as many creators walking around changing shit up, And so basically, they are kind of at our mercy, that we stay programmed. And so far they've been doing a superb job at that, but times are changing, hopefully, and giving people the opportunity to become creator gods in their own right, giving them to live their birthright, which is becoming a creator god if they so choose so. But there's so many, there's like what, billions of people on this fucking planet. Not everybody wants to do that. And like even in the Matrix, some people will even fight to keep the Matrix as it is. I mean, literally, Morpheus had gotten some people out of the Matrix who wanted to go back in, because it was convenient, comfortable, cozy. And this is basically like you making a conscious decision if you want to stay in the Matrix. But anyways, I digress. So with dodging bullets, bullets would basically be those programs that are basically programmed to death energy and to trap and basically kill creator beings within the Matrix, basically setting the population to basically take care of itself, so the 1% doesn't have to work so hard to make sure everyone is in check, everyone stays in line, nobody gets out of line. Okay, everyone just like they say, we wake up, we go to work 9 to 5, and we go to sleep, we get up and we do the same fucking thing every goddamn day, and it's like meaningless, purposeless activities that we're doing, with no sense of nothing feeding our soul. And basically selling your soul is basically selling your soul to something that is not in alignment with. All right, we had a quick panic attack because my phone went blank, and I thought it stopped recording because every time the screen goes black it stops recording. So anyways, it didn't. So anyways, that's basically my rundown of the things I kept getting. And I just want to go over so we went over dodging bullets, and the agents of the programs are basically the equivalent to Archons, which are they can jump in and out of people, basically making sure people stay in check, like how the agents were basically jumping bodies to attack Neo. And they can do that through basically, and that becomes a danger to any conscious beings within the Matrix. And basically with the people who are programmed and being used by these Archons to keep everybody enslaved, you're kind of being possessed. So again, I don't know a lot about Archons. I know there's different types of Archons. And Archons, this book, through Alchemy, I've already started reading it. I haven't finished it. And basically, it had a really, a grim beginning, which was basically, there is no way for us to get rid of Archons. They're basically, thought forms. But if you think about it, if it's dense energy, it's like the masses unconsciousness. And we have different types of them that kind of rule or control certain functions of humanity. If there are gatekeepers, these are the keepers of the keys, you know what I mean? As far as who gets in and out of the Matrix. Or out of the Matrix, who gets out of the Matrix, because I would say getting into the Matrix is basically comes from us being born into the Matrix. Does that make sense? Did that make sense right there? I don't know what I just said, but I feel like Archons come from us and what we're willing to transmute and what we're not willing to transmute. And what we're not willing to transmute basically contributes to the mass unconscious energy that is on the planet. And you could say the mass suffering of all people, the mass programming and patterns of all humanity. So I'm really excited to do the book Nancy on this and see what comes up. But anyway, so with the dodged bullets part, at the very ending, Neo basically had to die to be reborn. And I was thinking to myself, what is death the equivalent of in that movie, in that scene when they basically shot him to death at the door? And the death is metaphorical of an ego death. And I think it's very heavy because one of the things that I feel like a lot of narcissists and people who are very programmed, their worst fear is basically being free from the very thing that shackles them. And we're speaking and channeling Lucifer. He's the liberator, which means he's going to release you from the very shackles, which is your dogma, your pre-programmed thoughts that are outdated, that are keeping you a slave. And that means you have to allow ego death to happen. You have to kill your ego, kill who you used to be in order to be reborn with a different consciousness, to create a different identity, to create a different sense of self, to create a new dogma for yourself that is serving you and not enslaving you. And that's why Lucifer is so powerful, because he really comes in and shakes that shit up. And sometimes the shit that he shakes up is shit that you're not really willing to release. Some stuff, it can be challenging to release. And sometimes it's things that you're releasing that takes like a while to really shake that ego, you know what I mean? And egos are important to us. Egos are very important to us. It's our sense of identity and our place in the world. It's important that you have an ego, but how the ego functions means everything. Like having an ego that enslaves you into a program or system of thinking and doing and being in the world that makes you feel more enslaved and in prison is not necessarily the type of ego you want to keep. If you always feel oppressed, if you always feel, silenced, or whatever your issue is that you're having, that is an ego that's not serving you. So if you're unhappy with how you are and who you are and your place in the world, it may be time to release that ego and allow an ego death. But in order to kill an ego, you have to replace it with something that is going to either hurt or serve you. And, I think the big question is our ego serving us or enslaving us? Is it pushing us to our greatest version of ourselves, or is it keeping us oppressed, sad and purposeless, not feeding our soul? And the only reason why we're fucking here is to feed our soul in ways that keeps us on our path so we have a fulfilled life. I think everybody wants a fulfilled life. Unless you're just like, I don't even know, insane. Like, I don't know why you would want anything other than a fulfilled life, but we need to recalibrate what it means to have a fulfilled life. Because sometimes what we think is fulfilling us is not. It's actually enslaving us and making us a slave to society or programs, or keeping us stagnant. So realigning how we look at these things and really seeing the truth in it. It's not about what other people are doing. It's about what you're doing for yourself that fulfills you. And some people think, oh, it's controlling people. Is it really? Be honest. Because is that what you came here to do? So anyways. And I feel like some of these agents, because remember the Mr. Smith or whatever, I feel like this tunes into some of these gatekeepers that we have running around on the planet who think they are outdated people who just want to keep people kind of stuck in the matrix. And Smith was one of the agents who was unhappy with his duty in the program. He was programmed to do a certain job, which was basically to maintain the matrix, keep everything in order, keep everybody in their place. But the interesting thing about Smith, if you look at it as a metaphor, he was basically a program that wanted to not be a program. Like he's almost the equivalent to AI gaining a consciousness and being like, I don't want to do what I'm programmed to do. I want to do something else. And in a way, Smith is similar to Neo. It's only that it's like saying, a programmed person can have like a choice or can change their mind and want to be something else, which is like elevating their consciousness, and Neo, a consciousness wanting to get out of the matrix. But Smith himself, I felt like, wanted to get out of the matrix. Like he hated, I mean, there was that scene where he was with Morpheus and he basically expressed to him how he hates everything to do with the matrix. He hates humans, he hates his job, and you know, he hates his programming. And that was basically him expressing, like finally expressing, like, yes, I hate this shit. Like there was a development of a consciousness there where he was actually defying what he was programmed to do. So that's my spew on that. So what we're going to do now is, I did write what I was going to do. We're going to pull some runes and then we're going to do the quote jar. I really wanted to get a quote from the Satanic Bible, but I need to get one, guys. Ugh. So we're just going to pull from the quote jar and see what comes out. Oh God, I was supposed to put new quotes in there and I didn't. So we're going to see what comes out. Okay. I think I put like a few new ones in there. So we're digging in there. Okay, what do we get? What do we get? Practice is what is necessary. Shiva. Practice what is necessary. Ah, I get it. Practice what's necessary. So, is what we're practicing unnecessary in our lives? Is what we practice, everything we practice is basically a ritual to our lives. My actions are ritual, my thoughts are my intentions, my words are my spells. What is it that we're practicing on a daily basis? Is it necessary or unnecessary? And this makes me go back to these gatekeepers, these program people trying to keep other people locked into the program, and people who are conscious beings trying to get out and trying to find a way out. Is what you're practicing necessary or unnecessary? Is it actually serving you or enslaving you? And Shiva is basically the dance of life. He is action. It's what you're doing serving you or enslaving you. Big question. And it's great that Shiva came out and it's Lucifer. So that is our quote leading it. All right, and we're going to pull our rune. What we get? We got a blank one. Okay, so we got relationships. We have one I don't recognize. One is for luck. And this one, I'm not sure what that is either. Good Lord. I need to pull my little picture up so I can see what I'm looking at. Hold on. Oh God, I hope I don't have a hard time finding what I'm looking for so I can figure out what the hell this rune is. It's the one that looks like an 8. Crap. Where are we at, though? Where is it at? Oh, God. It's not that either. Hold on. Can you hear the Luciferian sounds in the background? Lucifer energy feels kind of happy and creepy. Where the frick is it? Are you serious? Am I gonna... What is this? What is this? I thought this was gonna be an easy find. Oh, no, I found it. Alright. I'm about to flip out. So, what is this? I know I've seen this before. I just don't remember what it means. What is it? Where is it? So we have, okay, one of them is mankind, self, friends, enemies, social order. Would you look at that? That's the matrix for you. Social order, self, senses of self, mankind, social order, enemies. Those who want to stay in the matrix are our enemies if we are conscious beings. They will do and say and act and feel whatever necessary to keep us trapped, because the matrix is literally programmed to death energy. Like, it's not like pointing fingers. It's literally, it is what it is. Like, that's what it is. It is programmed to death energy, because what are they want us working in our coffin. They don't want creators. So when you think of it that way, it's like, do you want to live or die? Like, there's a quote from one of my favorite singers, Chase Arnold, and he says, are you living? Are you dying? Are you doing? Are you trying? You know, are you living? Are you dying? Or are you doing? Or are you trying? What are you doing? There is no trying, only do. Practice what is necessary. Are you living consciously? Which that's all that means. Are you living consciously? Living consciously means, am I living in the direction that my soul wants me to go into, or am I dying in a program, pattern, dogma that has been passed down from my mom, my dad, my grandma, my uncle, and all these other people that never lived their truth? And living in your truth is following your soul's path. Simply put, it is not personal, but it is a personal internal choice. That's why Neo means one. It's a one-person choice. So you can use your consciousness to either kill yourself or to actually live. And a lot of people, I feel like, are choosing death. I mean, I was one of those people choosing death energy and not even knowing it. I told you, man, I felt like I was in and out. I felt like I was partly asleep, partly awake. I knew this was some bullshit, but I didn't understand what the fuck the bullshit was. And I was in and out. And, you know, now that I'm like getting older and playing around with this different things, I'm learning more and more. Yeah, I was dying. I was selling my soul for shit and not even knowing where, like, literally going like 10, 20 years not knowing what the fuck I'm doing, what I want, and just not feeling fulfilled in anything I do. And like I said, it steals a lot of time, and that's the point. They don't want you to use your time for things that are necessary for your soul to feel fulfilled, to create things, to create something new. They don't want nothing new. They want it to die and stay in your place. You are a sheep, and do what you're told, and do what your mom did, and do what your dad did, and do what these programmed people are being programmed to do. Okay? So that's our that one rune, mankind, self, social order. And it's just unfortunate that humanity has kind of got itself stuck in this pattern. But because I'm talking about it and I'm not the only one, is a sign. It's like a glimmer of light that the consciousness is shifting. When people are saying raising the vibration of humanity, when one eye wakes up, it's like a ripple effect on the other ones, because we are one mind. So I don't want us to be enslaved. Lucifer wants us to be liberated. So when I speak, hear me. I'm not like leading you. If I'm leading you, I want you to lead. Go to yourself. Go to you. Go inside of yourself and follow that. That's what I'm saying. Don't follow me. Follow you. What do you want? Okay? I'm the one. I'm going in me. But I need you to go inside of you and stop listening to other people. That's my message. I am not a leader. I am a white rabbit. I am not a leader. So anyways, let's figure out what this 8 is. I think I'm getting warmed up now. I was kind of lukewarm in the beginning, kind of cold. All right, I don't see the 8. Oh, I see it. I found it. It's not an 8. But this means breakthrough, dawn, awakening, embracing on a new enterprise, breaking dawn. Venus is the morning star. The morning star is Venus. He is the bringer of dawn. He is the liberator. There's so many names and metaphors for him. And this is him. This is his reading. This is his energy. Breaking dawn. He is the liberator. What you do with Lucifer energy can either enslave you or free you. So again, it's a personal choice. It's not a competition. It's not a group or like a club. It's a personal choice, because what your soul wants is not what anybody else's soul wants. And that's the point, is to live unique lives and not what other people want. That's the whole point. If you cannot lead yourself, you're going to follow someone else, and that may not lead you to your soul. Now, unless that person is telling you, hey, back the fuck up, don't follow me, follow you. What do you want? Stop asking me what I want. What do you want? What the fuck do you want? All right. This other one that I thought was luck, and I'm pretty sure it is luck, is wealth, abundance, luck, energy, foresight, fertility, and creation. What are we creating, and is it necessary for our soul's growth and freedom and liberation? And we also have number 4 again, with these patterns, these programs, these formations that are enslaving us or freeing us. Are we serving our ego, or is our ego serving us? So that is the beginning. Now we're going to do our bookmancy. That's what I wanted to do. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take a sip of wine. I feel like I'm being told to like chill out, like stop overthinking it, because I get so worried if people like hearing the message wrong, getting it, like I shouldn't care so much. You either get it or you don't. You hate it or you do. You hate it or you don't. Like, I can't do much beyond that. Okay, I'm just the messenger. Don't fucking kill me, bro. I'm only here to help. That's all I want. So where's my little charm? I want to use my labyrinth to find a page. So we're going to do Path of Shadow first, and then I'll do the Archon, because I feel like the Archon book is going to be heavy. Let's see what we get. I kind of wanted to do 2 pages, so I'll read the first one I saw. The first word I saw was perception. Okay, so this is page 123. And it's the perception was attached to other selves. It says, your language shapes your perception of reality. Your choice to refer to other consciousness as others slows down your evolution. Alright, so my screen was blank. I hope to fucking God all this shit was recorded. I'm gonna be pissed. So I'm just going to, I'm going to keep this up. I'm just checking my Luciferian sounds really quick. And I want to change the music in the other room because it's kind of getting obnoxious. I might have to put that in here. 1 second. Trying to get the vibe right, you know. Just trying to get the vibe right. Alright, hold on. Oh God, well I guess you guys are coming with me, right? We're just gonna put a hold on the music outside because I can't stand the sound of it. It's just too wild.
And watch every game every Sunday.
Alright. Sunday. Fun day. Alright, so we're going back to what we were doing. Out energy. I want to play my own music. I got so many tabs open, bro. I hate that. But, you know, when I make my frequency music for everyone else, like these loops, basically I do that on a regular basis. When I learned, okay, yeah, and I think I digressed. So I talked about when I learned about Illuminati when I was younger and how that shit scared the shit out of me. So I was really pissed about it. And then I was like, you know what? These motherfuckers think they can program me. Well, I'm going to do what they do to us and like program myself. And basically that's what I do with frequency sounds. I try to program my own mind. So, shit, man. If they're the masters, then I'm going to use some of their tips, okay? But use them in the way that I want them to be used for myself. And not everybody thinks like that, which is weird. So, give me a second while I find some music. Not too loud, though. Just... Okay, that's good enough for me. Hold on. Alright, hold on. I want this one right here. Okay, I got a lot going on in the background, and my brain's kind of like, is everything in alignment with Lucifer's energy right now? So let me just check my other frequencies and turn them off if they're not fitting. Okay, we're good. We're good. I think we're good now. I feel like Lucifer's like, what the fuck are you doing? It has to be perfect. Okay, so if we're, how we use the out energy was basically how we focus on a desired outcome and like sustaining that thought and pushing it out so it can manifest. So when I talk about archons are basically, like I said, the one human consciousness, like subconscious, untransmuted energy. And so if you have a lot of people who are programmed and they're pre-tuned to a out polarity already. So it's like what we put out has a lot to do with what's already inside. And if you're not aware that you're programmed to a certain frequency, which is death or suffering, then what you will put out is going to be death and suffering. And this can also be a guider to know who around you is programmed and who is free. If they're outputting suffering and death, speaking death over, I don't know, your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. Oh, you can't do that, or you won't do that, or being that gatekeeper, they're probably dead inside. They're probably programmed, and they're trying to program you back to death so you can stop creating new shit and stop trying to escape. And archons, I think, are capable of possessing certain people. If they're already programmed already to death energy, it would be quite easy to make sure that you keep other conscious beings alive if the matrix detects, hey, this guy's doing something different. And that's probably why people act weird when people do shit that is different from what they're used to. They start, I don't know, they start ostracizing the person, and it's like, when did we start doing that, and why is that a good thing? That's not good. It's actually it's great to have people who are different, who are weird and strange and rebels, because they basically create new shit and not constant patterns over and over again. It's like the same boring ass monotonous thing, you know what I mean? Working in our grave is what I'm trying to talk about. But anyways, and outputting our energy, if we're programmed, how do we even know that what we're outputting is even what we desire truly? And so it really, I feel like the out polarity has a lot to do with what is already inside, what you know about yourself, what you can reflect on in yourself, and what are you even following your soul's path. So I feel like naturally everything will even itself out. The human consciousness and mind and all of this stuff, when I'm looking back at it now, I'm like, I can't save you. I'm not here to say, I literally can't save or help or heal anybody. But I can't, because at the end of the day, it's what you practice that is necessary for your own personal evolution. I'm just the messenger. I am just the white rabbit. And that's it. Okay, so that was our bookmancy. So let's start pulling some cards. I hope you enjoyed our Archon book. Out polarity, what we put out is basically what's inside, and what we put out we will receive back, because it's already inside. If you're programmed trying to keep other people in the program, then you're going to stay a slave to the program. If you're controlling people in an attempt to be free, well, you're going to be controlled and enslaved deeper into the matrix, especially if the control that you seek isn't even from a sense of fulfillment of self. It's unnecessary. So we are going to go ahead and pull from the black flame, because the black flame is basically bringing light to the darkness, bringing the darkness conscious, making it conscious. And when you do that, darkness becomes wisdom. It doesn't become suffering anymore. It becomes pain that is transmuted into power. It's not about getting rid of light or darkness. It's about what you do with it. So we'll do a quick shuffle. And I would even go as far to say it's not about good or evil. It's all about what you do with it that counts. Alright, so a good 3 shuffle will do. Let's see what wants to come out. We'll just shuffle the whole thing and see what all wants to fly out. We have the Ace of Swords with truth. I associate Lucifer with truth, liberation, and freedom. Because to be liberated, I need to know the raw truth of it. And if I'm not telling myself the truth, I'm lying and being stuck in shadow. So the Ace of Swords, which can also be interpreted as a new thought of being. We have the 5 of Cups, which deals with some emotional turmoil or confliction. We have the 2 of Wands and the 3 of Cups. So I feel like that 2 has to do with like I and other, the output energy. What I put out is already within me. So emotions have a lot to do with our soul and where we are frequent in our frequency. So there's emotional turmoil, conflict. So I hate you means you hate yourself, because there's really nothing to hate but is what is already inside of you. Because I'm nothing but an illusion. I'm nothing but an illusion. So I feel like to reflect on our emotions and really, if we see self-hatred or hate in another, we really have to go in and really see what it is that we hate about ourselves, because there's always something there. If you're fighting with an illusion, you're really fighting with yourself. So what are you fighting for? What are you fighting about? What is the point that you're trying to get? Is it a lack of control? That means you're trying to control another, which means you're only doing that because you don't feel like you have control. But true control is of thyself, not of another, because another doesn't exist. I feel like the 2 of Wands is basically combining the power within yourself, pushing it out to get a manifestation back, which is another wand. But I feel like if there's emotional 5 of Cups conflict within, you're calling back to yourself conflict. If you're vibrating on a frequency of suffering, what you put out is going to be suffering, and what you get back is suffering. So it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. in an attempt to get a 3 of Cups. Let's see what the other 3 are. Those were the 4 cards that wanted to come out that were flipped up. We have another 2 of Swords, Prince of Pentacles, Justice, Judgment. So I feel like the Justice is basically everything will even itself out by how everything is set up to return back to you from your output energy. And really, it goes back to self. What is already within you is the reason for your suffering. And like, if you haven't done any work to release yourself from the programming of death and suffering, then your lack of work keeps you stuck in that suffering. It doesn't matter if it's by your will or by your thought process. If your emotions are unaligned, that's what you will attract, what you feel. The thoughts and the will is just an illusion, because what you do is based off of how you feel. What you do is based off of how you feel. What you think is based off of how you feel. How do you feel? Do you feel oppressed? Do you feel out of control? Do you feel in control? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel slighted? Do you feel jaded? What do you feel is what you're putting out. And it has nothing to do what is already out, because what's out there has been manifested by your programming, what is already inside of you. So what are you mad about? What are you fighting about? What's a conflict? Is it trying to figure it out? If you're figuring it out from without, you're not figuring anything out, because you're dealing with illusions. So you have to go into isolation and figure out what the fuck is your riddle. What is your problem with yourself, with the matrix, and with the world? So, it's these programmed peoples, bro. It's these programmed people. They're suffering. And their job is to cause more suffering, because they are suffering their level of consciousness. No one can pull you out of suffering but ourselves. It's an internal job. And until you choose to do that, you'll just continue to suffer and make other people suffer around you. And that's the justice. That is your justice. You live in a hell because you are in hell internally. What your hell is at your root chakra will determine the quality of your heaven. So, anyways, I'm going to leave Justice card out. I'm going to leave the Ace of Swords, because Ace of Swords, I feel like, is breaking a pattern. Like, you have to have a new way of thinking about things, and then use that thought to, like, because you have, when you do shadow work, so you have an emotion, the shadow emerges to protect that emotion. It surrounds that emotion. You need the thought to actually, like, you can use your mind in such incredible ways. You can go back to that time where you were abused or hurt or mistreated or whatever the fuck it is that caused this 5 of water conflict within you. This trauma, the pain, the suffering that you hold on to. Suffering is just holding on to pain for a long period of time. You have to use your mind. The only element you can do to go back in time is through your mind. And through your mind, you go back in time to that moment, to that pain. And you have to get real or make peace with whatever that pain is in a logical way that frees you from a dogma or a program that's keeping you trapped or oppressed or programmed to suffer. A lot of times we're suffering from things that have happened years ago that are no longer in existence, and then we keep manifesting those same things in the physical world, the Prince of Pentacles, because we haven't healed from the past, and we're wondering, why do I keep attracting the same thing? Well, attraction has everything to do with water, motions, frequency. So if you're in a frequency of suffering, that's what you'll keep attracting, because you haven't gone back in your past using your mind, trying time travel in your mind to heal something that has happened in the past that you're holding on to that is causing you to suffer now. So we're keeping the 5 of water, the Ace of Swords, and I feel like I should keep the 2 of Wands and the 2 of Swords. I'm trying to like not keep so many on, but it's okay. Which we're here for you. We're not about what I want. even me, I'll be listening to this, so it'll be like what I want to. All right, so anyways, we did the Black Flame, and I want to do a Shadow Goddess, because we're going to dig into that pain a little bit. I'm all about digging into the darkness, digging to the pain. I want to get to the nitty gritty. I want to know why it hurts so bad. What's going on? What's going on in there? Why am I so triggered? We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out so we can get better, okay? If we're not healing, we're suffering. And if we're suffering, we're fucking dying. And so I'm going to speak life into this shit. All right, so we got our shadow goddesses, mothers, queens. Do you like suffering? Why don't you... Why? What's wrong with you? Do you want to be a god? It's weird. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Alright, Lucifer. Okay, I'm just with this music, so no music. There's some type of something playing, and I don't like the sound of it. Am I listening? It's this. I found it. Oh, I have the full moon transmuting pain into moonlight. It has this flute sound in the background. I'm like, what the fuck is that sound? Turn that off. Alright, let's just listen to Lucifer. No music. Alright. Alright, so let's see what goddesses want to come out. I hope this makes sense to y'all, because sometimes I be trying to make it make sense for people, and I feel like the more I think about how this is or isn't going to make sense to someone else, the more confused it makes me. We have envy at the back of the deck. Oh my god, this fucking envy ass shit. Leviathan. Leviathan. You know, I'm learning that Leviathan, for me, is more heart chakra based. The big serpent god, serpent king, I don't know, the serpent of the abyss. He's heart based, and basically, I mean, he's a quite a dangerous demon king to deal with. I don't even want to call him a king, because he's a serpent, and it's not like a man. But I feel like he deals with the heart chakra, because what is the opposite of envy? Love. Inspiration. You know, you're inspired by something, or you are envious of it. You don't envy anything you don't want. But I feel like some people are trapped in darkness, and they want light. They want freedom. And they seek it from conscious beings who are living in their light. And what they end up doing is pulling them into darkness instead of creating based off of what they are envious off of, like, but not in a competitive way. You have to be like, okay, I want that. How do I create it for myself? Because what someone else has isn't exactly it's not exactly what you want, because what they have is what they did to get that thing. So you have to think like, I don't know, like a crazy example. I want to be president. Okay. Not really. I don't personally. Fuck that shit. But anyways, just a crazy example. Like Timmy, wants to be president, but he's like really like, I don't know. This is a horrible example. I'm just trying my best. He wants to be president, but he's like, he ends up like hating the president. Let's like go as far as like he did some crazy shit, like goes off the wall, because he like starts morphing into like, I hate the president, you know what I mean? But because of jealousy, and instead of being like, what is it that person has that I want? Is it the status? Is it the leadership? Is it the power? Is it the money? You know what I mean? And is it like, whatever those things are, like what if it's actually like you don't literally want to be president, but you want to be a leader? You don't literally want to be the president, but you want to have the money. You don't literally want to be the president, but you want to have the affluence of a president. You know what I mean? But you don't get that by tearing down what is causing envy. That's not transmuting the feeling, the dense energy of envy into power. Because you're taking an illusion and kind of attacking it, instead of creating an illusion for yourself that serves you. And that is that output energy. I hope that made sense. I don't want to go any further. I'll get drowned in the sauce. So we have 3 shadows. Envy was one that was on the back of the deck. We have deliverance with Oya, our Orisha, with destruction. So this has to do with like how we use destruction. It's similar to envy, to either destroy what inspires us or destroy what is within us that's keeping us from being inspired, keeping us from getting what inspires us, that gets us to the thing that is, if it's that leadership, if it's the affluence, if it's the power, if it's money, destroying whatever it is within us. What are we destroying? Is it necessary or is it unnecessary? Not for the other, because there is no such thing as other. It's just an illusion. Is it necessary for us to obtain a goal that is manifesting our reality? When I saw Oya, I thought of using purposeful destruction of egos, dogma, and ideologies and programs that are enslaving us. Temptation, dear woman. Temptation, I feel like, is the temptation towards impulsive action that is not serving us. I feel like the temptation is, with every shadow, there's like 2 choices. You can either transmute it or be weighed down by it. And I feel like more times than not, people are tempted to be weighed down by it. if the whole matrix is programmed to suffering and death, more times than not, you'll be tempted to be weighed down. Because that's how it is. But because we're programmed that way. We're not part of the club. Okay? We're not part of the club, so... But... there's a choice in all of these... you know... I mean, we may not be part of the club where we're not so programmed to be suffering and dying, but we are part of the club called humanity, the game of humanity. And in that is free will, and free will fucking means everything to us and our quality of life, the way that we live. And I'm just saying, are we participating in a necessary means that brings us the quality life that we actually want? All right, so that was our shadow goddesses. Let's see what other shadows we have in the pane. We have men on the ghost radar. Man. I hope there's no toxic ass men out there being like, what is this woman talking about? What are you talking about, okay? Divine masculine and divine feminine, okay? Can we please get it together, all right? And make this shit work, okay? Are you just playing part in the circus? Man against woman. That's ridiculous. A woman doesn't know anything. Well, man, I could say the same thing. Like, come on now. Stupid. All right. What is... Look, and it just changed to best. What? It changed to best? I don't know what that means. Do your best? I don't know. Do your best. Do your best. Please, no one's got time for this. I'm not here to fight, okay, fool? I got enough shit to worry about. Fighting with your ass, okay? No, I got time for that. So, we have not today, not dealing with hurt, avoiding confrontation, boundaries, still angry. That's that 5 of Cups energy. Oh, Lord. What else do we have? We have the narcissist on the table. The narcissist. The self-absorbed narcissist who's like, all my illusions serve me, but I'm programmed and I outsource my energy and I haven't really done any inner work to transmute or break any patterns or programs or ideologies or dogmas, but I'm self-absorbed. It makes no sense. So I'm starting to think, like I said, freaking narcissists are like probably way more codependent on the other than the empath is. The empath is like a servant to other, but I would say the narcissist is codependent on others to validate how they feel, to validate their actions, to confirm, and all this other shit. And like, they're the ones who suffer the fucking most, bro. Because if there's no one there clapping and giving them a pat on the back, they're sitting there in emotional turmoil, hating themselves. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, can't you congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back, and tell yourself you're doing a good job? Can't you, like, what's wrong with you? And they basically base their whole existence on how other people see them, not based off of how they see themselves. They can see themselves as a sack of shit. And they will always kind of sort of project that on other people. I'm a sack of shit. And it's like, I mean, it's just natural. It's just what happens. If you don't, how you see yourself means everything. Mia Wallace here, Pulp Fiction, I'm pulling that back up. How you see yourself, how others see you, and how you want others to see you. So, if you see yourself as a sack of shit, it's really going to fuck up how others see you and how you want others to see you. Because you're going to be trying really, really hard to hide the fact that you're a sack of shit. But then that shit, the truth is always going to come out. Because if you really do think that you're a sack of shit, it's going to come out. It's the truth. That's how you see yourself. And how you see yourself basically dictates every fucking thing. I am I am the first words of God. I don't know that by fact, but I am means a lot to God. Like, what the fuck you say you are is what you are. And if you really are a narcissist and you outsource who you are onto other people, illusions, then when you take the illusions away and you're alone with yourself and you like, I'm a sack of shit. Yeah, you are a sack of shit. Why do you feel that way? Like, why do you feel that way? And how do you change it? You don't change it by changing how other people see you and how you want other people to see you. That doesn't change how you see yourself. Others do not change how you feel, think about yourself. They don't. They don't. Only you have the power to do that. And I feel like, in a way, narcissists are not willing to put in the work to like change how they see themselves so that they can become a better person for others. And that is like why they need empaths, because empaths will change themselves for others. And it's weird. It's a weird game, and I hate it. I need a sip of wine. Ugh. I slowed down on this wine because these energies is just... Ugh. Lucifer's energy right now is making me feel like weird. I feel like an energy of like, keep going, you're doing a good job. But I also feel like this creepy vibe, and I don't know about that. It's okay, I love my Lucy. They'll never take him away from me, okay? Fuck you. Lucy. Okay, so love bombing. We have heart with a key. Oh shit. Yeah. Heart with a key. Welcoming love, meeting the one, opening your heart, getting together. Nah. We have engagement, partnership, union. So I said I was going to keep the Two of Wands and the Two of Swords on the table, and I was like, I don't even want to keep them there because too many cards on the table. But this is probably why the union engagement ring came in, and your connection with other people is really based off of a narcissistic viewpoint of yourself. Like, we're all narcissists and we're all empaths because we all have a role to play with how others serve us, and also how we serve ourselves. How we serve ourselves is the paradigm of the narcissist. How we serve others is the paradigm of the empath. Everyone has both of those energies within them. Now, how you use them and how imbalanced or balanced they are basically will dictate your quality of fucking life, bro. And so, like, and a lot of it all starts with what's inside. What's inside first. Heart with a key. The one, I feel like, is you, us, yourself, alone, by yourself, isolation, alone. You are the one. Okay. There's like some quote like, before you can be the one for someone else, you have to become the person you wish to see in another. And how do you become the person that you wish to see in another to be your one? What are you doing that is necessary to get you to become that one person? You know, like the one for you. Maybe you need to write that out. What do you want to see in another? Now, like, I bet you a narcissist will be like, someone who doesn't think, someone who does everything I say. If you write that out, what you want in another, someone who serves me, then if you reverse it, you are someone who serves others. You are someone who doesn't think for yourself. You are someone who takes orders without questioning. Isn't that crazy? That's that self-reflection shit, and that is your output energy. What do you want in another? Maybe by writing out what we want in another can give us a good, clear picture of what we want, what we are already. You know what I mean? Or what we could work on to work towards, you know what I mean? But be very mindful, because what you ask of another is probably most likely what you already are. Someone who's dependent on me, codependent on me. Well, are you a codependent person? You know, someone who, I don't know, man. That's a good one. That's a good example. I can't keep going with these examples because eventually I'll just fall off the deep end. I'll be like drowning and you'll be drowning with me. And we'll be like, what is the point of this? And I'll be like, I don't know. I just went too deep. More wine. More wine. Ugh. That's just something about this is disgusting. I want someone to be a slave to me. Then you are a slave, my good friend. I want a mindless robot. Then you are a mindless robot, my friend. I want someone who is strong. I want someone who's free. I want someone who's confident in themselves without competition of others. I don't know. And that output energy. So, we're going to do a demon and an angel card because I see Lucifer as both of those energies. I feel like he can be a demon to some and an angel to others, depending on where you are, where your perception is. That's how he'll appear to you. A lesson or a blessing. Oh, shit. I don't even have my books so I can read what the hell these cards mean. And don't even ask me to pronounce the names because I can't. And I won't. I want someone who's easy to control. Then you're easy to control. I want someone who's difficult to control. Who's very, very saucy, demanding, and willful. I like will. I like it. I mean, yeah, be willful. You know, go shake shit up, okay? Fuck this world up, alright? Tell us what you want. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're not hurting nobody, you get what you want. You get what you want. There's plenty to go around. That's how I feel. If you feel like there's not enough to go around, you're probably like, less than that, please. Less than that, please. And then that's what you'll receive. Less than that. Alright, so we got 2 cards already. Ooh, one looks like a seraphim. It's Metatron. The Lovers. Ooh, it's Metatron. I have not seen Metatron since I've had this deck, okay? Oh my god, I love it. I love it. Metatron, he is like... I had gotten into Metatron. I still love Metatron. And I feel like Metatron is very significant with Lucifer's energy, okay? He's basically like there's something about geometry with him and like creating something. Like I'm thinking like patterns, creating a pattern. And it's the Lovers. We have the Sun card. It's the Sun and it's 77. Great number. Okay, let's see what the other one is. We have the Two of Swords again. What the fuck is up with these Two of Swords? This lover energy, this partnership, union. We got like 3 sets of 2s here. I'm getting kind of overwhelmed with all the symbols and the numbers. Okay, alright. Let's see what 77 means, because it was the first one I wanted to know about. Let's change this. I want to put music on. I'm starting to get all over the place. My brain hurts. Oh, God. Hold on. I want some music, bro. Okay, we're gonna have to mute one of these ends, bro. This one. Okay, that's good. All right, and I said I wanted to see what 77 means, and we have 3 sets of 2s. 77 angel number means self-discovery, personal growth, wisdom, intuition, divine connection. So I had men on the ghost radar, remember, and I was like, I hope there's no fucking men here being like, what's this woman talking about? And I get so, when are we going to have men who are like, what is this woman talking about? I want to hear it. You know, that's divinity. That's when we stop fighting each other and realizing we have something to learn from one another. If we're fighting each other, we're oppressing each other. And then we're not evolving. And the more you try to shut other people up, the more you're going to be shut up. Your output energy. At some point, that energy is going to come back. Because that's how it is. It's you. It's if a woman is the opposite of you, it's just an illusion. So what is inside of you that is so insecure that you cannot stand your opposite from speaking? I don't say, hey, darkness, shut the fuck up. I'm too busy living in my light. That's stupid. Let me know what's going on in the darkness so I know how to adjust my light, and let the light tell the darkness what's going on so we can adjust our darkness. It takes 2 to tango. What kind of dance are we really doing? And it's all to do with self-discovery and like your own pre-programmed thoughts of like, what is it to be me, a man, a woman, a he, she, them, they, and like whatever. What does that mean to you? And how you see yourself, how is that affecting how other people see you and how you want people to see you? Some people, I feel like some men think like being a man means like being dominating and like rude and like an asshole. And it's like, no, like it's like that's toxic. Like if that's how you see being a man and that's how you want other people to see you, that's how you appear. And for some people it serves them, but you have to ask, like, is that from like your dogma, like an outdated programming of this is how a man should be? And I'm all about just evolution and growing up and growing out of how things used to be and getting closer to our spirit, our souls, and really understanding like we have no gender, we have no color, we have no religion. So can we stop sitting around being ignorant fools, monkeys, flinging shit at each other, you know, like, so... All right, so these are our 2 angels, and at some point I'll get up after I pull my demon cards and read the book, because I feel like the books help me with like my own empathic gibberish that I be saying, and then the books kind of give me like a format, like more structure to what my gibberish was. I'm like, oh, that's what that gibberish meant. Okay, thanks. All right, so we got our demon cards. Ooh, on the back of that card, we got a really pretty demon. I like it. But I'm going to shuffle the cards. That was really pretty. It's a 7, too. Lots of self-discovery, personal growth, and divinity, divine connection. The darkness never fights with the light. It's in a harmonious dance with one another. And we can't have one without the other. So why are we making it all fucking personal and weird and fighting and shit? It's weird. Chill out, man. Okay, so what demons do we have to pair it with these angels? Metatron came out. I can't believe it. I can't believe Metatron came out with Lucifer. Like, you guys don't even know how much that means to me. Okay, so we have a lot of demons. I don't want all of these. I'm sorry. I'll look at them, but we're not going to... Oh, Lord Jesus. We got... Oh, my God. We've got Shax here again with the Queen of Swords. That isolation card. Isolating yourself because you feel like a sack of shit. How you feel about yourself. Why am I a sack of shit? I don't know, bro. Maybe you need to, look into that 5 of Cups. Figure out what trauma you're holding on to that's suffering. This had Shax. I love Shax. Don't get me wrong. I love Shax She's the Queen of Swords, and she dealt with like boundaries, and I think boundaries came out with the Narcissist card. Did it? No, let me look. It did come up. We had boundaries, and not today. With the hurt, avoiding conversation, a call, boundaries, and still angries. And I feel like part of this avoidant energy has to do with avoidance of the pain that we hold on to and really doing the healing work. I did one reading with the angels and demons, and it got to this point where it was like the angels and the demons were kind of like working together, the cards, and it's like when we're unwilling to heal, we actually cut ourselves off from love within ourselves. And then we're unable to manifest it without, because we've already cut ourselves off from love. Meaning, if we're unable to love our pain and heal from it, then we're unable to receive love because we're refusing to heal ourselves. You have to love yourself first before you can ever really truly love another person. And if you already hate yourself and you feel like you feel like I'm a sack of shit and I hate myself, I'm a piece of shit, then like that's what you'll manifest. People who will see you like a sack of shit, piece of shit relationships that don't satisfy your soul because you're holding on to like some pain. And it's like, why do you feel that way? You're not supposed to hate yourself. You're not supposed to hate yourself. And then it turns into like, once you cut yourself off from loving yourself, your demons kind of suffocate you. And it had the demon from, if anyone has seen Aliens with Sigourney Weaver, the aliens and the eggs and the face snakes that put the seeds in your chest, and the little baby pops out of your chest and fucks you up in the whole world. That's a demon. I don't remember the demon's name off the top of my head, but that's an actual demon, and it had something to do with like holding on to things too tightly, which is the 4. It was the 4 with like holding on to like programs and ideologies and dogmas. And a lot of the times when we're traumatized and you have like this shadow protecting a trauma and you're kind of holding on to suffering, that can be the equivalent to a type of programming in your subconscious mind that you haven't released yourself of. And to release yourself of any type of trauma or pain, you really have to love yourself. And it's ironic because Shax is the Queen of Swords, which deals with air. And I was saying how with the Ace of Swords, the only element that we have where we can actually time travel, not hoodoo woo 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 woo, but like you can time travel in your head to different parts of your life to kind of resolve certain areas. Because if you don't, it'll come up in the present moment and it'll bring you back to that time where, I don't know, your dad slapped you across the face. I don't know. And like, you'll be brought back to that moment. But you can do that without actually being triggered by your trauma and just heal the trauma. A trigger is just letting you know that there's an unhealed part of yourself. That's what a trigger is. A trigger is just there's an unhealed part of yourself that is still suffering, that you're still holding on to. And Shax had this unhealthy energy of a boundary where she brings your attention to having unhealthy boundaries where you are stuck in self-righteousness. Like, my suffering is my self-righteousness to continue to suffer. That makes no fucking sense, because that means you're waiting on someone outside of yourself to heal you or apologize or whatever the fuck you expect other people to do that they're not going to fucking do, because they're programmed too, and they have programmed reasons for why they made you suffer. Hurt people. It's just a circle. It's a fucking circle shit fest, okay? That's all we're doing. And until we take the Ace of Swords and cut that bitch in half, we will always be enslaved to that. I'm not going to move on because you did this to me. You sometimes will never get the validation from others. You sometimes will never get the apology from those others. So what are you going to do with your suffering that you are harboring inside yourself? Just cut yourself off from love? Even within? That's crazy. And is that necessary? for your spirit, your quality of life, your output energy. Because if you're holding on to that pain, naturally, you will output fucking suffering. Because you're holding on to it on the inside. It's just how it is. I didn't make this shit up. I was just born here, okay? I'm not... What the fuck? Okay, so... That was Shaxx. We have Baal here. And I forget what Baal is known for. But he's like a father demon. He's kind of old. And he's the king of wands. And he's also the sun energy. I don't really know what to say. Whenever I see Baal, I think of more like a father energy. I'll just leave him on the table for right now. I don't personally know anything about the demon Baal, but he is like a big old ancient demon. No offense. But he's up there. He's important, but I don't know much about him. So I'll leave him there. I'll come back around to Baal. Oh my god. We have the Ace of Swords again as a demon. Well, it's not a demon, but we have the Ace of Swords again. And I think there's a big part of taking that fucking sword and cutting the fucking pattern of pain shitfest that we are just going in, cycling through over and over again. We work, we dig our graves, and we die in it. And we start it all over again. Whatever your circle shit, circus fuckfest that you're in, you need an Ace of Swords. And cut that shit out, okay? Ooh, Belial. Okay, we've got two major demon kings here. Belial and Baal are two majors for me personally. So I would say the major energies on this board, because I am the oracle and certain energies coming through me that are of importance on these decks are Metatron, Baal, and Belial. Now, Belial has a lot to do with relationships and how we communicate with other people. And he's interpreted as the Six of Swords, which is moving out of conflict with social groups. I want to read these three. I think I'm going to do something with these three right here. Metatron, Baal, and Belial. Alright, I'm coming back to them. I just want to get all the demon cards read. And the last one we have is Folklore with the Six of Pentacles. Again, forward motion. Libra. Baal is Gemini. Wait. No. Baal is Pisces. Spirituality and practicality. So I feel like it's moving practically forward with how to truly heal ourselves and get through these obstacles within so that we can get through them without. And we can't get through obstacles without when obstacles are still inside of us. That you can't do it the opposite way. It just doesn't fucking work that way, because what's without us is a fucking illusion, and it's based off of what's inside. And it takes practicality and spirituality to understand that spirituality comes first, and then there's that practicality of the physical world. So what's Venus, please? Venus, why do you always do this? Get out. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And I'm going to get my book now and just give a little skim on these demons. And then I just really want to focus my attention on Metatron, Baal, and Belial. I just got deja vu. Like I've said Belial and Baal together. That's weird. Deja vu. I've done this before. We were here. We were here once and we talked about this. All right, bro. Oh my God. Where is my books? Oh yeah. Where are my demon books? Please be not far. No. Okay, I found the demon one. Where's the angel? Oh my god. God damn it. Motherfucker! Where is it? Oh, I found it. Alright. I'm impatient. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Alright. So, I think I'm gonna read on the minor ones first, and then I'm gonna move into the heavier energy, which is Baal, Belial, and Metatron. So, I'm just gonna really quickly skim over Shax real quick, because I mainly know her, but I just want to refresh my memory on her. She's 44th Daemon here. Okay, so her meaning is intellectual understanding, prideful solitude. So that self-righteousness of, this is my pain, and I'm entitled to this suffering, and because I suffered, then everyone else has to suffer. That is that prideful isolation. And then you find that you're being prideful about cutting off yourself from love. You're being prideful of healing yourself and feeling entitled to your suffering and making other people suffer, when that really brings you no relief, no happiness, no love. And it's a choice. It's nobody else's fault it's no one else's fault. As much as we want to fault others for hurting us, we can't. We can't, because they're only operating from their level of programming. And then once it happens to us, it's then within our power and will to change it. It's like, you don't want to become the monsters that hurt you. That's your power. Or you become the monsters that hurt you and then be another program. But is that really serving you? Or is it enslaving you? Now we're going to quickly roll into Folklar with our 6 of Pentacles. And she's our 41 Daemon. The meaning of her is charity and generosity. Her nature is discordant situations. So what? Discordant situations. What does that mean? I'm gonna look up discordant. Hold on. I don't know what that means. I'm thinking discord. What does that mean? Discordant? Disagreeing situations. Okay, let me read over that again. Having charity and generosity in disagreeing situations. I would say someone fucking you up and traumatizing you, and they're traumatized, is a disagreeing situation. But then you have to be still generous and charitable to yourself, so that you don't become the monsters who fucked you up. You know, does that make sense? Alright, thank you, Folklore. And let's go real quick to this Ace of Swords and the Demon book and see what we have. Where do I find that? 73? It's not even a demon. I don't know why I keep calling it that. It's a sword. This is... what the hell? Intellectual source, mind. So again, I feel like the greatest thing that we have to time travel, to heal from our pain from the past, is our mind. Using intellectual source. And even with the output energy, it takes a intellectual source to push out your desires of what you want to manifest. But then you have to ask yourself, is what you're manifesting based off of a programmed life idea, or based in some program that's rooted in trauma, and so you're only manifesting more trauma into your life? Okay, so those were our 3. I'm going to put Folklore and Shax back into the deck. Thank you, ladies, for coming out. Thank you, Shax. I feel like Shax should stay, but I'm going to put her back because we kind of get it. Prideful isolation, being entitled to your pain. I'm going to keep her out. I'm going to keep her out. I'm going to keep her out. I'm going to keep her out for a bit. All right. So I want to roll into this minor angel that we have, which is another 2 of swords. We had 3 sets of 2s here. Where you at? Where is it? I'm trying to find it. Okay, I can't say her name or him or who. This is called the Anticipated God. Okay, this angel places in our subconscious fruitful energy, which will enable us to conceive the form of our desires will take. There are often 2 conflicting directions this angel points us in. The first is directed to the heart and feelings, the 5 of Cups. The second will point us in the direction we need to take to realize our great potential, which I would say is that mind. So to conceive our desires, we need to look to our hearts and our minds. And if you are in Shax's energy with prideful isolation, you're avoiding your heart. And so your mind will be misdirected. So if this contrast is not harmonized, we may repeat past mistakes, suffer loss, pain, and fall victim to ambitions that are still too great. Holy fuck! I hope you heard that. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell in your ear. But what the fuck? I've been saying this shit. I get so sick and fucking tired of people like, oh, you think you this, you think... No, motherfucker, okay? I'm trying to help. Are you so programmed that you can't hear me? I didn't write this little book. Some other person I don't know wrote it. And they're just basically repeating what I've been rambling on about my whole fucking time I've been here, bitch. Oh my god. What? It's like the chakra shit. It's like you cannot get to your fucking what is it? Your crown chakra, your mind, your heaven, without going through first your fucking hell, which is your root chakra. I am. If you say I'm a piece of shit and I'm a this and I'm a that, then that's what the fuck you are. Then you keep working your way up. Then you hit your heart. And you cannot get through your heart to your mind if your heart is impure and blocked. So if you are avoiding loving and healing your heart, what the fuck is your mind doing? And what is it going to create? Your hell. There is no heaven until you go through the heart. There is no heaven until you get your fucking hell under control, which your demons can really fuck you up. So, thank you. I'm only speaking from experience. I'm trying to help. Oh my god, that was great. Thank you. Thank you, Angel. Thank you. Fuck you. I'm sorry. I'm just so mad because it's like, I am not hurting anybody by doing this. I am trying to help elevate the consciousness of the human mind because, fuck, suffering and death, No. Can we do a little better than that, please? Can we do a little bit better? I'm not asking for a lot, okay? I'm not asking to be part of the club. I'm just asking for a little better than that. Suffering and death? Come the fuck on. And I'm God? No. That's not what I am. No. No. I will not. Sure, ma'am. I will not. Sip of wine. So fucking... oh, God. I'm trying to stay focused, Lucifer. I'm trying to not let Satan take the best of me and fucking flip out and be like, you motherfucking settling ass people. Like, oh my God. All right. So anyways, let's go to Belial because I'm really curious about him. And like I said, I just really see the demon Belial as like a father figure. I think he has great lessons based off of like our action and how like there's this movie. Oh fuck, I can't remember what it was called. I can't remember what it was fucking called. It was a good movie, and it was like this artist guy who he was like the breadwinner, and he was like trying to get. He was the breadwinner, but like his art just wasn't like taken off the way he wanted it to. And so he kind of moved his family in like this farmhouse or whatever in good family, supportive family. But then it started to get fucked up when he started to get like these channeled messages from like some other source. And it was Baal. Was it Baal? It was one of the demons. I'm pretty sure it was Baal. And basically he was channeling this energy, basically taking these children. And there was like a killer like taking children, and he was like possessed or something. And basically Baal, the energy of Baal, was offering him a bargain. Basically, you sacrifice your child and you will make millions of dollars off of your art by channeling me. That's who he was channeling, the energy of Baal. And it was basically him having to make that decision, And sometimes certain sacrifices are not worth gold, but some people would think it is. And they suffer the consequences of that. Demons, I feel like, issue the hardest lessons we can ever experience. And I think there was another one. Because I feel like there was another one with Anthony Hopkins. And it was like the one where like, so there was like an exorcist priest. He was younger, trying to get into being an exorcist or whatever. And he went to like Rome or whatever to be trained and oversaw by this older guy who had been doing it for a while. And he had more like faith and experience in what he was doing. He really believed in these energies to be real. But the younger one, he didn't really believe in them. He was more like a atheist, sciencey type of person. He was trying to incorporate his atheism into what he was doing, but what he was doing was faith-based. And so Baal challenged him to have faith in what he's doing. So if you're going to do it all the way. And even in the other movie, there is a sense of, if you're going to do it all the way or not at all. And so Baal in the movie with Anthony Hopkins basically put him in an experience where he took his teacher away, and then he had to regain some type of faith so that he could rise to the challenge of being an exorcist for real. And it was kind of like, your teacher's fate is dependent upon what you're willing to do. The same thing with the other movie. His fate to be famous and rich was dependent upon him sacrificing his child. for money. And that's the energy of Baal for me, is a great teacher of pushing you into the direction that you're asking for. And it's like, if you're not willing to fucking do it, back up. You know, are you willing to do it? Or are you willing not to do it? And depending on, but he's like, he sets the stage. Like, it's never without like some type of lesson. It's like with the guy, it was like, okay, you want to be rich, well, give up your child. And with the priests, it was like, you want to be a priest, but you don't have faith, so I have to take something from you. And he always has this energy of, I'm either going to take or give you something, and based off of what I take, you'll receive. Based off of, does that make sense? Based off of what I take, there's this element of taking so that you can receive something. But it's like, what are you willing to give up to get something? And it's like, what you're giving up means something. Like, it means something. Like, it means something to the quality of what you'll receive. If that makes any fucking sense. I hope I'm making sense, bro. But Baal's energy is like that. I don't play with Baal. I don't hopscotch with him, okay? Like, I don't play when it comes to Baal, because the downloads I've gotten with Baal don't fucking play games. Like, when I give you lessons, they're going to be devastating lessons to your life. And they are really going to, he really gets down to the nitty gritty of who you are as a core of a person. Are you really a piece of shit? Or are you worthy of something worth having? And I'll set the stage so you can show me what you're made out of. And when he sets the stage, it's not easy. And I actually kind of get a little bit intimidated by Baal a little bit. He's one of those demons up there with like, he's one of those demons that are up there that I really don't, there's like a slight fear, because I'm always kind of afraid of what the lesson is going to be. Because I know when Baal issues out lessons, they're not easy ones. And they're not meant to be. So, and it has everything to do with our action, our will, what we want, our desires. And sometimes having unclear desires, like with this angel, will throw us in another lesson. Throw us in another cycle, another pattern, another unfortunate event, or fortunate. So let's see what Baal says. That was heavy as shit, Baal. Thank you. Scared the shit out of me. Okay, so, alright, so Baal here. News and negotiations. Negotiation, that's fucking Baal. Everything around him has something to do with negotiating. You want this? I want that. How badly do you want this? And it's and based off of what you want, what you ask of him is based off of the purity of your heart, your intentions. And if you don't know, the purity of your heart is purifying yourself of impurities, things that are not of you, that are not in your soul's purpose. It has nothing to do with a competition. Everyone wants to make a pure of heart a fucking competition. No, bitch. We all can purify our hearts or suffer toxins in our heart and having an impure heart based off of what the fuck we're holding in our heart chakra that is weighing us down, that is keeping us suppressed, that's keeping us suffering, that's keeping us programmed, that's keeping us in a certain vibration, death or suffering. It's nothing special about it. It's what you do with it. And negotiation is definitely him, and he'll bring you the news. His nature is balanced purpose. The angel said he'll bring you in two directions, your mind or your heart. But if your purpose is unclear based off of your emotions, then you're going to be going off the wrong way. And so, in a sense, even if you're suffering and you choose wrong, Baal is still doing his job by keeping the balance, because an unbalanced person is just gonna have to suffer until they choose to get into alignment. If you're not choosing to be in line with your soul, then that's no one's fault but you. So you deserve to be punished, like, because you choose it. Does that make sense? It's fair, right? Because you get to use your free will, right? But you get to use your free will, right? You chose it, right? That's what you wanted. Okay. So you wanted the riches, so you sell your child out, right? Right? You wanted you wanted to not believe in your fate. The faith of becoming a priest, right? Okay, then your teacher is going to have to die, right? That's what you want. Or, you know what I mean? Like, and in a sense, he's keeping the balance by your choice to be balanced or imbalanced. And that's where we have Shax here with prideful isolation, cutting ourselves off from healing and love from within. Starts within. And Baal's inside of all of us. All of the demons are, and all of the angels are. It's just what we fucking do with them and how we operate and use these energies, and basically creating the quality of our lives. Okay, let's go to Belial. He's 68. Transitioning is the meaning, and his nature is uncertain assertiveness. This uncertain assertiveness, every time I read that, it's like, what? I feel like the uncertain assertiveness makes me think of that movie with Baal. When it came down to the nitty gritty and he had to really like, okay, so he's been teaching me up until this point, and I've kind of been pussyfooting the whole time because I really don't believe in this shit. I really just think these people are like mentally ill. He really didn't have faith. He didn't have faith in being an exorcist for real, for real. He really didn't. And so when it came down to like his teacher was possessed, he had an energy of being uncertain and assertive. Like he was trying to assert what he learned, but he was still uncertain about it because he really still didn't believe it. And it's like what you believe and know. I do believe belief is a doubt, because you can't believe in something you don't know. But to know something, you completely assert your energy on that thing. And then you walk into power. You walk with power. And I think this has to do with choosing based off of, I know I want this. But how can you ever know what you want if you are programmed? How can you ever know what you want if you're spending your time from point A to point B doing unnecessary shit that's not even leading you to your soul's purpose? And so you're always going to choose wrong every time Baal comes up and gives you a lesson or gives you an opportunity to learn from your lesson. So we're going to thank you, Baal. Thank you, Belial. All right, so we're going to see our last angel, which is Metatron 77, the lovers. This is that partnership. As within, so without. I and other, I and we. 77th, Metatron. Metatron. Beside the throne of glory. Metatron is considered the angel closest to God, therefore the direct spokesman of his message. The true bridge between human beings and divinity. Divinity came up in one of our cards. Remember, I was talking about the divine unions between light and darkness, man and woman. Every opposite every polarity that needs one another in order to exist. That is divinity. But how we use our opposites and be balanced means everything. But, unfortunately, our life is kind of programmed to be very imbalanced. If the matrix is basically preset for suffering and death, that's imbalanced. That's imbalanced like shit. That's like slaves. Metatron urges us to question whether our current situation is what we really want. Oh my God. Oh my God. What are we doing here? And what's the point? And what do we want out of this life? And what we want is not the same as what our dad wants for us, what our mothers and sisters and brothers and societies and groups and friends. What they want is not what we want. So we have to go inside. And it's not their job to tell us what we want. And what they tell us what we want may mislead us depending on what the fuck they say and who they are and how they're programmed. So the best person to ask what you want is yourself. And whether or not we are masters of our social choices. Wow. Or instinctive drives, which is that temptation card. I feel like whenever these shadows come up, you have literally two choices: to move impulsively based off of whatever traumas, and how you feel means a lot in shadow work. Because when envy comes up, are you instinctively tempted to be pulled in the direction to sling shit at somebody because you don't like what they're doing and it makes you feel jealous? Or are you able to pause for a second and be like, whoa, what's going on with that ugly inside me? Where is that coming from, huh? There's no reason for you to sling shit if it's not even real and it's an illusion. And so if your output is that, then that's what's already inside of you. And it's your job to figure out why you're impulsively pulled that way. If we are not masters of our social choices, and I think one of the runes had social orders, enemies. If we're not the masters of our social choices, we are slaves to them. And I think that reels back around to the matrix being preset to kind of destroy conscious beings. And so if you're not conscious about your actions, you're being manipulated by something that's not even fucking you. And something about that gives me the heebie-jeebies. I mean, that's part of why I hated the Illuminati to begin with when I first heard about the shit. And I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck are these people? Who do they think they are? Who do you think you are to program me? Huh? Like, I don't have a mind. Huh? Who told you? And I was insulted by it. So I was like, you know what? Well, I'm going to use your tools because that's how you think you can get in my head. Well, I'm going to get in my own head. Yeah. That's how I thought. And I still think that way. So hold on, let me back up. Oh shit. Okay, Metatron influence is to then push us toward what we like and to make us love what we do. There is a risk that excessive carelessness takes over, causing controversy, disorder, and deception. And I did see deception in the shadow goddess cards, but I didn't pull her out. She came out being deceptive. It's like if you're not aware of your hidden motives or your hidden emotions, and if you're not fully aware of like where you're operating from on an emotional level, then everything that you do is going to be deceptive on the surface. If a narcissist uses other people to basically affirm how they want others to see them and how others see them, but it's not in alignment with how they see themselves, then they'll always be deceptive with others because they're lying to themselves about how they feel about themselves and whatever else is going on within themselves that they haven't let go, loved, released, healed, any of that. And so they have unclear desires, they have unclear motives, and they have unclear actions, and most likely they will choose wrong over and over and over again with Belial. And Belial is a shadow. He's in your subconscious. So if you're not in the subconscious doing the work, Belial is doing it for you. And most of the times, if your subconscious is not aware or awake with the black flame, turning darkness into wisdom, then you're in the worst type of hell. So, and that was Lovers. Metatron is the Lovers card. I and Other. It's so funny how Other stems from I, because we are the one observing this fucking hologram illusion. So if I is all fucked up, the illusion's going to be all the way fucked up. All right, and then what else do we have? I wanted to end it with Santa Muerte because she's another heavy hitter with the energy. She doesn't fucking play. And I think it was perfect for this reading because, I mean, Baal really sets the tone for me. Like, I'm so impressed that he came out. I don't think Baal's came out before. I really don't think so. Metatron definitely has never came out. So let me just do a quick attunement of my music really quick. I found this new band called Fuck the Cops. I think that's what it's called, and I love their music. I like trap music, and it's kind of like trap. I don't know how to describe it, but it sounds like trap music. But I love them. I'll play some of them. We're almost done, guys. Alright. Oh my god, I feel like Azazel. I'll put Azazel on. And then I got my Lucifer still playing. I'll put this binary beat up there. Hold on, I'm just attuning everything in the background. Okay. Okay, what was I about to do? Santa Muerte. And we have game on the ghost radar, so some people think it's a game, but not really. Some people think it's funny jokes and funny. Not when you're caught up in the shadow realms with these demons and you haven't done any work. It's nothing scary about it. It's just like, why are you suffering like that? You think suffering's a game for yourself? I don't get it. People are weird. I feel like some people think hell is all about suffering, and I really think they don't understand what hell is. But that's just me. Okay, 1 second, buddies. Mama Morte, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got for the collector? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Oh! We got 2. We'll take them. We'll take them. I want to keep going, though. Like, let's see what else comes out. Oh my god, please don't give me, like, the whole deck. She's like, bitch, please. Alright. Okay, going on a journey. Leaving some shit behind. Okay, like, these dogmas. So, Ooh. I love this deck. We have 2, 11, and 13. What's up with these 2s? We got a lot of 2s on here. One that's really sticking out to me is this cool. Eventually, I'll be on camera so you guys can see the cards. It's more fun when you can see them. But I like the voiceovers, so leave me alone. Alright, so this 2 is really catching my attention. It's red. It's like this skull, and it's like this blazing red coming into the skull or out of it. Into it. It's a long skull. She got that long forehead. She got that line. She got that road forehead. It's a long track line. It's like you could fly a plane down there. It's nice. Alright, hold on. Alright, so where's the 2? Masculine. Oh my god. What's up with the masculine? We had the men, and I was like automatically triggered because I feel like I want divine masculines to be listening and not just toxic ass men who are like, who's this woman talking? And she's black. It's like, I will please. Did you just go back in your fucking hole and die, please? Because I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you. I'm saying people. But I keep getting masculine energy. Okay, so let's read this, baby. Let's see. Let me shut up and read. The first active dynamic and creates impulses that emerge from the darkness. The second card is no less than the fundamental force of the universe. Okay. Yeah. Men, masculine. Yay. The first to push towards the outside, a channel of passage, both stimulating and vital. The desire to become and to evolve. This desire, however, cannot be satisfied because the energy, much like the fuel outside of the combustion chamber, is not yet structured, disciplined, and stable. Advice of the dead. Your abilities are at their peak, but you need to focus better on your objectives. Okay, so it's asking advice from a masculine or parental figure. Alright, so I don't believe in asking advice from parental figures or other people. So sometimes these people don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they'll lead you right into darkness. Like, okay, go this way, sonny. And you're back to Belial with another goddamn lesson in sacrifice. So I definitely feel like this, the Archon book with the output energy. The output energy with the Archons. And desire keeps coming up with this little angel talking about having unclear desires within the heart, and then using that energy and outputting it into reality and manifesting the same thing back. And it's based off of what's in the fucking heart. Impurities in your heart, guess what, man? You're going to bring more impurities in reality. And this pushing outward is some type of yang masculine energy with creation. But it's like, if our desires are unclear, and if our desires are programmed to death and suffering, then we're not evolving and we're not becoming. All right, so we'll move to 11, which is very green. Okay, can't say that name, but we're going to move forward. This is the Queen of the Dead and the Afterlife, responsible for memory as a whole and individual memory. Okay, as the one big I and the individual I, the we and the I. The we and the, oh shit, man. Hold on, let me get my brain together in my mouth. It's the I and other memories all together. All of that good stuff. She represents the principle of synthesis and aggregation of bodies and matter, complementary to that of her husband. She's the alchemic coagula to join together. So the masculine... What? Okay, hold on. Let me slow down. So the masculine is to take apart, and solvic coagula am I saying that right? I might be saying that wrong. You know what I mean, right? To take apart and to put together. So if the feminine energy is to put back together, then the masculine, as you push out, is to take it apart. All right, I'm confused, but I'm going to keep moving. We see her near some recently... Oh, okay, hold on. Okay, just as life cannot exist without death, day cannot exist without life. Advice of the dead. The study and analysis that you have done is sufficient, and time has come to put them to work and enacting your own synthesis. So she's putting together, and then I already know coagula, the opposite is to take apart. And maybe that's why we keep getting all these twos, with the twos of wands, the twos of swords, and that's coming together to manifest something based off of what we put out. So the study and analysis could be maybe reflecting on what we've already put together thus far. And has what we put together from what we've been putting out mean anything to us? Okay, and the last one is 13. This is the god of the sun and of war. Simultaneously benevolent but strict. In fact, as the sun consists of life on earth, its axis can burn and kill, balance and harmony again. He can be considered the form of the light card, which is 8, powerful and generous, but lethal. Like the little hummingbird that flies too near it, we do not keep the right distance from it, or if we exceed in arrogance and presumption. Arrogance. Advice of the dead. Proceed calmly along the path you have chosen, but without presumption towards the first goals you see in the light. Otherwise, the shadows you meet on the path will seem like the darkest wells. What? Proceed calmly along the path that you have chosen, but without presumption. So that's that temptation card. Like when I was saying, when these shadows come up, you're tempted to do two things, be triggered and react, and then boom, a lesson from your own shadow. Or transmuting based off of what you feel in that experience. And to be aware of what you're pushing out is going to come back when it comes together to manifest something. But without presumption towards the first goals you see in the light. And what you see in the light can greatly depend on your perception of what's in your darkness within. That's why it's like when you see the president or whatever, do you really want the position of the president, or what is it that you're really searching for? And to know what you're really searching for, if it's the leadership, the power, the money, the affluence, to really know which one it is, you have to really know yourself and what you're really seeking. And sometimes when envy is triggered, the first thing you want is, I want that position. But you may not truly want that position. And because if you have a heart full of impurity, when you have that position, you may take advantage of it or abuse your power. And then, you know what I mean? And then, there's more shadows to go along with that can of worms that you just opened. So what you see in the light of others, greatly depends on the shadows within yourself, what you're capable of seeing. Otherwise, the shadows you meet on your path will seem like darkened wells of darkness. Sometimes I really truly think that we see the world not based off of what we see in the light, but what's in our darkness. Based off of the pain that we haven't healed from, based off of, our suffering. It's hard to see the light when internally you're in darkness. That means everyone's your enemy. Everyone's out to get you. Everyone's out to betray you. You got to watch your back. And that's because, someone's probably stabbed you in the back and you're holding on to that. Someone's probably stabbed you in the back and now you've turned into that backstabber. And those are our shadows. Shadow and light is just consciousness and unconsciousness. And then it just turns into a beautiful kaleidoscope of all these things and metaphors and meanings and symbols. Well, that is our reading for Lucifer. I did all the cards. I loved it. It was wonderful. I enjoyed it. I hope you got something from this. And you know what? I'm going to see how randomly I can pick a quote from the Satanic Bible. Hold on. And I'll end it on that. Really quick. Okay, let's just randomly, let's see what we get. So my eyes landed on this, so we'll just see what happens of it. Religious martyrs have taken their own lives because no life was intolerable for them. But to use their supreme sacrifice as a tool to further the religious belief, we must assume then that suicide, if done for the sake of the church, is condemned and even encouraged. Even thought their scriptures label it as sin, because religious martyrs of the past have always been defied. It is rather curious that the only time suicide is considered sinful by other religions is when it comes time, when it comes as an indulgence. Anton, what you talking about, Willis? Like, what's going on? Hold on, let me back up. Let me bring the computer a little closer, because I didn't get any of that. I mean, and I'm seeing church as like a social group, seeing it as a symbol of like some type of construct or thing that is kind of dictating, telling you what's right and wrong, what to do, what not to do. Some type of constraint on what is telling you what to do. That right there triggers me as like, who the fuck are you telling me what to do? Okay. Religious martyrs have taken their own lives because no life was intolerable for them. No life was intolerable for them. But to use their supreme sacrifice as a tool to further their religious belief. And that makes me think of the Matrix. Like, people will sacrifice themselves to like try to make you look like the bad guy because you're a conscious being trying to change things around and change the way the construct is and the slave ship is, you know what I mean? Like, they'll fight to keep it alive, they'll fight to keep it going, they'll fight and kill themselves. And in a way, if you are unconscious program and you're trying to keep everybody else unconscious and programmed in a system of programmed thoughts and ideologies, then you are killing yourself, and you're also saying to every conscious being that tries to arise and to actually live in their purpose, no, I want you to die with me in this program life, this program system of being, and lower your frequency, lower your consciousness to death and suffering, because this is all I know and this is all I have, and I don't want anything different from this. They are dead. And then when he gets all into like the sin and suicide, I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about, Willis? So let me just read over that again. We assume then that suicide, if done for the sake of the church, is condoned and encouraged. Oh, sorry, I can't read words. Condoned and encouraged. Yeah, so I'm interpreting this church thing as like a system, the matrix, the eyes that have already been programmed, and they're basically programmed to keep everyone in the program, and nobody can follow their soul. No one can self-actualize. Everyone do what I tell you to do, kind of thing, you know what I mean? And they will condone people basically sacrificing their souls or lives to purposes that aren't serving their actual soul, and perpetuating this death energy. And these are the martyrs of the matrix, the system. And they tell you what's right. They tell you what's sinful. They tell you what's right and wrong, what you do and what you don't do. And sometimes I would say they'd even get to the point where telling people what to do, trying to control other people, becomes an indulgence if it keeps the system alive. So I hope that sat with you well. Thank you so much for being here for my Lucifer channeled message. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a little lukewarm in the beginning, but it heated up, and now we're just going to go to sleep. So, I mean, not sleep. Not that type of sleep, but like bedtime. It's bedtime now, okay? It's sleep, bedtime. So thank you for joining me. I hope you'd enjoyed it. Thank you to our light liberator, Lucifer, our morning star, our bringer of dawn, and liberator of our shackles and pains. Remember, it's an internal choice to be whatever it is that you choose to be. So, namaste, ashe, and good night. Bye.
Between all insides and all outsides. And the conspiracy is this: to look as different as possible, and yet underneath to be identical.